Coming in from London, there's only one. Leslie Cavendish, hairdresser to the Beatles from 1966. We love you, Leslie, and I call you Uncle. And listen, just to tell you, I'm celebrating now, and while you talk, I'll have a bit of a drink. That's a bit of a rosé.
I'll do a cheers with you.
Cheers.
This is to your 800 show, which is brilliant. I know we'll be doing this for the 900th, and I know we'll be doing this for the 1000th. So cheers for the 800th. Cheers. Well done, mate.
Don't they normally say bottoms up in England?
You say bottoms up. I say cheers.
There must have been a lot of parties that you were invited to with the Beatles. And I was saying, what was it like relaxing and just enjoying their company and drinking it up? I mean, did they just like, when they worked hard during the day recording and doing everything, but obviously after hours, they want to be
after
themselves.
Hours, yeah, after hours, you become yourselves. I went to a great party. Dave Clark had a great party at his penthouse in Mayfair, where Paul came with Jane, and there was an incredible list of people there. Nina Simone, all of the Dave Clark Five, everybody you could think of in London was there. Doris Troy, who was also working for doing a song for Apple. What was the song, Plastic, Doris Troy wrote?
I just forgot it at the moment. Just
one look. Just one look.
Just one look. Yeah, but the Hollies did that too.
Yeah, I think Doris Troy wrote it, but if you check it. But anyway, yeah, everyone was relaxed. You know, people got to remember, you know, you don't go and ask, you know, you see all these famous people and say, well, can I have your autograph? You just don't, or can I have your picture taken? You don't do that. You just, like with you just have a natural conversation, see how things are. And when it comes to work, they work like everybody else. And it comes to relaxing, you relax.
Living the swinging 60s, like Austin Powers. Every time I see an Austin Powers movie, believe me, I'm thinking of you, Leslie, down Carnaby Street, down all those streets. And, you know, I want to say, I've seen your photos and your photographic material. I mean, I'm sure you've been asked during the 60s of that peak, somebody said to you, can you do some modelling? Because you seem to look like a model at that time.
No, I'll tell you what they said to me, can you do some hairdressing? That's what they said.
Did you ever get...
I said yes.
Did you ever get asked to do any advertising photos?
No.
Okay.
Never. I did, but I said no. Okay. Too posy for me. It's not my cup of tea, as they say.
How was it when you cut the hair? Britt Eklund's brother, was it?
Britt Eklund's brother, Carl. Yeah, Carl came in. She was gorgeous. She was a lovely looking woman. And she just said to me one day, can you cut my brother's hair in a Beatles style? And I think you've seen the picture, what you're saying.
Yeah, of course I've seen the picture.
Really excited, and he actually had a fantastic mop top haircut. So
let's talk about beautiful women of the 60s. Who's passed by you in your life? Like, who have you met? Actresses or singers?
I met my pin-up lady that I had, Raquel Welch. I met her when she was doing the Magic Christian with Ringo down at the studios. Yeah, she was as beautiful as her photographs. I met Jane Mansfield and Diana Dawes. Yeah, you met lots of people and models. You know, it was all part of it. You know, working at Sassoon's was my education to life. You know, and so yeah, lots of people, lots of guys as well.
Of all the Beatles ladies, who did you cut their hair at, Leslie?
I cut Linda McCartney, or even when she was Linda Eastman, and Jane Asher. So they were the two. They were my two bookends.
And I'm just saying, with the cars that you drove during the 60s, you had a little Mini. Is that correct?
I had a fantastic black Mini. I thought I was a superstar for 2 minutes. I had black windows. That's what I used to see. All the guys around. You always look at cars that have got blackout windows, and you know there must be somebody important in there. Well, they're not really. To a point that I had blackout windows. I wasn't that important, but yeah, I did go through that stage for a little while. Yeah.
Yeah, but driving Paul McCartney in your Mini to the club, and then you told the guy outside I got Paul McCartney inside, he didn't believe you. I mean, is that a trip or not?
That is the truth. He couldn't see me. He didn't know who it was. I told you the club was the Arathusa Club in the King's Road, which is right next to the zebra crossing, which is right next to the Chelsea Potter. And so it was a zigzag line there. You can't park, but I didn't want to walk down the street parking with Paul McCartney out. And he was actually with his lady friend, Francie Schwartz. So, you know, it was all a bit of a, you know, new thing for him to go out with a new girlfriend. So I did stop the car outside the club, saw the doorman, said to him, "Could you please park my car? And I've also got Paul McCartney in the car." And he went, "Oh yeah, mate. Yeah, I've heard that before." And this little Mini had a sliding windows, wasn't the wind down windows. And he pulled the window open, and out popped Paul McCartney. He went, "I opened the door," and then they went, he parked the car. It's nice to have influential friends.
When we look back on your career, and there's some fantastic photos. I've seen them all. The one with the big scissors that you got, right? The photo.
Yeah. Do you know who took that? The guy who took that was the most wonderful guy called John Kelly. And John Kelly, I shared a room with at the Magical Mystery Tour. And John Kelly took all the photos of the Beatles down there and a lot of their album covers. And I got to know him pretty well after the trip. We shared a bedroom together, for 5 days. And I asked him if he'd do some photographs for me for the opening of this salon that the Beatles backed me for. And so he said, yeah. So we found these great big giant scissors in the Chelsea Antique Market, which we bought. And that's where those pictures come from.
You know what I'm talking about, the photos? I've got to say something. This younger generation that are coming up, they're learning about you through your book, right? The Cutting Edge. The normal copy that's English, and then you've also got a Spanish version for those that can speak Spanish or people in Spain. But what my question is to you, out of all the photos, if I didn't know you or someone didn't know you, now I could say the most iconic photo could be the ones of you at the fish shop on the Magical Mystery Tour. That's a photo that stands out. The one with you at Paul waiting for the bus outside the street, right? That's another photo. The one of you holding the scissors, that's another photo. But I'm saying, in your mind, is there one particular photo that really stands out that you say, that's me 100%?
Yeah, well, me 100%. I quite like the photo of me with Paul McCartney, and I'm standing over him from the bus looking at the newspaper. We obviously were looking at something there. I quite like that picture because that was quite, it was just a nice picture of, it wasn't posy picture. It was something he said to me, "Leslie, look at this." I can't quite remember what it could be. It could only be either the publicity. It certainly wasn't the football results. And there's the other picture as well, that's a great picture when we opened the salon downstairs in the basement. And there's John Lennon, Amanda Lear, George Harrison, John Criddle, and myself at the opening of the salon. And that was a nice picture. I mean, I look at that picture and I remember that day so clearly. And also the picture I've got is in color. So it's a few pictures I've seen that I can automatically just turn my clock back and it's there. Yeah.
You're a great looking guy for the 60s. I mean, I see it in the pictures, right? It's just like, this guy looks like a model, and also you're very sporty. Whether you're playing tennis or you're watching cricket, I mean, that sport's been with you all your life, yeah?
I still do. I'm at, in fact, in 2 days' time, I'm going to go to Lords and watch England v South Africa and the cricket, the 5-day test match. Sports, I'm going to QPR on Tuesday night. Sports have always been a big part of my life, watching and playing, which I'm still doing. Yeah.
Queen Park Rangers, for those people who don't follow soccer, if you're on a new team, right, go for Queen's Park Rangers. Plastic EP follows one team. Have a guess which one.
It's got to be, I wonder if it's got a pool in it.
Liverpool. And only because of the Beatles. It's only because of the Beatles I follow.
A little bit of a groupie, I can tell, but never mind. They're a great team, actually.
Anyway, now let's go back to the 800 show. To get to this point, and I did a show with Chachi, and I said to him, "Listen, Chachi, I got to tell you," because Chachi met yourself and Ivor through me, and he talks about it every day. And I want to tell you how I feel. I feel on top of the world that I know yourself, Leslie Cavendish, that I know Ivor Davis, that I know Chachi Lapret. And to me, it's like my niche circle. When I'm in my niche circle, to be within that circle, to me, it's like an honor. I don't know how you feel, man. I called you and Ivor uncle, and I mean it, because you guys are just like up there. Because you got to understand, while you're on Magical Mystery Tour in 1967, Plastic EP's not even a Plastic EP. He's 9 years old. So you got to understand, right? I'm a baby boomer, and it's just like to hear these stories fascinates me. That's just how I am.
Well, there's stories that, you've got an obviously great interest in music, besides being a great musician yourself with your dear, lovely wife. And yeah, you know, I've got interests in lots of things, and you know, if I can meet certain people and talk to musicians or sports people, I get a chance to without driving them mad. It's fun. But you sort of are the what can we say, the hole in the middle of the EP. You put it on and you spin around 1 minute, I'm on the flip side, Ivor's on the other side, Chachi's doing a duet with you. So yeah, it's great fun. You put us on at 45 RPMs. So I'm very privileged, and thank you. And your interviews, you know, the ones I haven't seen, can't say I've seen nearly 800 or 800, but I've seen a lot of your interviews, and they are terrific. And you make people feel comfortable, and you get hold of people. It's what you call, you've got the balls to ask certain questions, which is what I like. So yeah, keep it up. I want to see another 100 more before
200. We've got to get to 1,000.
Well, 200. Let's do it one step at a time, as they say. Take one step at a time.
It's just fascinating, the information that I find out. And now I've become a very investigative journalist, that kind of a person. Look, the world can't keep up with my interviews. That's fair enough, because it's day and night, day and night. I'm 24/7. I've become a cyborg. I actually live in cyberspace. Whether you believe it or not, it's true.
I can believe it.
I want to say this. I just did an interview with a fantastic person, right? Paul Brett. He wrote the
yeah.
He wrote the book about the fretless guitar, the guitar that was given to George Harrison in 1967 that they used on the White Album for Helter Skelter and Happiness is a Warm Gun. It's on that song. And his friend Ray was given the guitar, and he ended up selling it for about £190,000. It was on Antique Roadshow. And the world didn't know about that guitar until I did the interview with Paul first. Then I did the interview with Ray. And every Beatle fan is just like freaking out about the rarest Beatles guitar, this guitar. And to me, that gives me the biggest pleasure, just breaking a story that no one knows about. Because anybody can do interviews and do the same garb and just stay there.
Absolutely.
I don't do that. I'm just like, I'll tell you something between you and me. Uncle Leslie, I've got to tell you, it's no joke. I start off as an interview, but what you got to understand is I produce every single show. And I want the best. I want the best out of every show. Like we did the radio show on Plastic EP's Beatles Hour, which is coming out of Texas. That was a fantastic show between you, me, and Chachi. But what I'm trying to say with the fretless interview that I did, I spend most of my life editing because I do the whole complete show. And Vicky knows I'll stay 3-4 hours editing one show. So I make sure that it's like the best I can put it out in the world. And that's what it is. Like even after this show, I'm editing. Right?
Well, the thing is, you're in control. So, you know, it's nice to be in control. And it's, yeah, you do a good job. I'm telling you, you should maybe spread your wings and maybe go to Hollywood or somewhere. I'm sure they'll find room for you there, Plastic, I'm sure.
You got to understand, there's commercial TV and there's the internet. And what happens is I see myself as this little star on the internet. And I just love it because it took 2.5 years during the COVID to get to 800. And I look back and these little things, 800 are buzzing all over the world. And people on the net can't help it. They come across Plastic EP. That's the beauty. And then they see one interview and someone said to me, a very big Beatle person said, listen, until you came on the net, Beatle people knew about things. But you're the conduit that brought Beatle people together through your shows, and we learned a lot of stuff. And when I heard that, I thought, I'm doing my job properly. You know what I mean? I'm giving to the world and I'm entertaining. It's not about money. I've made nothing. I don't care. It's the love of the music. It's the love of the people.
Right.
And it's getting it down on video and being a historical archivist. Video, historical archivist.
Well, that's exactly right thing to do. Yeah. That's the good thing to do there. You find out little things. It's like you're an investigative detector of Beatles, rock and roll monkeys. Yeah, you come up with some things that people just don't know about, which is fascinating. Really is fascinating.
Ivor told me, he said, do you want to know about the Manson murders? I said, listen, that's not my crowd. That's not my cup of tea, Ivor. I really don't want to know. I want to know pleasant things, happy things to make people happy. I'm not interested in that. I told him that because I'm talking the truth. My audience isn't that. My audience is just everyday Joes, you know, baby boomers, young people coming up. And you know what? It's like, it's just amazing to me. And Vicky just sits there. When I need Vicky come on an interview, Vicky do this. She loves it because I've got to tell you the story, how the songwriting started, if I can, Leslie, right?
Yeah.
Talking about my history, right?
Yeah.
I've always been able to write a song. It wasn't a problem. So after I married Vicky, it was like I said, go for drum lessons because I need you to drum. Just do the basic drum track for videos, whatever we're doing. What happens is, this is true, Leslie, and you don't know this, but for 25 years in the band, the EPs, I never said that Vicky and I were married. Now, I want to explain. I can't keep a secret. It's not like I go around blab, but I don't normally keep a secret. So how do I keep a secret for 25 years that I'm married to my wife and we're in a band, the EPs? That's Vicky, the drummer. This is Plastic EP, the singer. That's Vicky, the singer. This is Plastic EP, the songwriter. So what happens is people started cluing on after 25 years and said, there seems to be a connection between Plastic EP and Vicky. They seem to be very close on the videos. This is the stupid thing about it, right? I refer to John Lennon because it must have been in my head John didn't talk about his wife, Cynthia, because he was in the Beatles.
That's what I was going to say, yeah, of course.
That was one of the things, but someone explained to me and said, no, that wasn't the reason. The reason was you wanted your wife to stand on her own feet and you didn't want to, you wanted to be independent and be known as Vicky, the drummer and musician, without you helping her. And she stood on her own legs. And I think that is what it really was. It wasn't the John Lennon thing, but the John Lennon thing was still embedded in that.
Yeah, well, you know, the secret's out and she's, you're a very lucky man to have such a good drummer.
Yeah, but you know,
think about it that way. It's not all about you. It's all about Vicky and the band.
You got to understand this part, Leslie, right? For 25 years, I was upstairs writing songs. And my friend Wally was writing songs with me. And what the joke was, every time I needed a cup of tea, this is true, I'd yell down the stairs, hey, Mrs. Plastic EP, can you bring the tea up? For 25 years.
She was your roadie.
Yeah, it was like an internal joke, but only we got it. And then there was times when Vicky's walking across, you know, mopping or vacuum cleaning. And I said, stop, Vicky. I need you on the song. She goes, not again. Because we just do it spontaneous. I don't wait. I have no patience. I said, listen, Vicky, I need you to do the song. She said, can I hear it? I said, don't worry about hearing it. I'll just tell you what you do. You sing da, 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 whatever it is. And she goes, okay. And then she stops and goes back to mopping. That's the spontaneity we have with the songs. And that's what makes it.
Have you written any songs about the mopping and the making the coffee? I mean, there must be a lyrics to come from that, surely. No. Have you written a song about her?
About Vicky? I've written tons of songs about Vicky. She's the love of my life.
Is that the opening of the line?
No, I've written tons of songs. How can I remember, Leslie? I don't want to get into my age.
One specific one, a bit like George Harrison or Eric Clapton. Something.
There's a song called, there's one called She's the One. Vicky's laughing when there's one, You Can Love Me All the Time. And we're in Los Angeles and we did the video clip there outside the Sheraton Hotel. There was a church across the road with roses. And I thought this is ideal. So we did the video, You Can Love Me All the Time. That is a top song. I don't want to get into it, but me and my wife look beautiful. You know, like we look like a magic couple. It's like.
So tell me, who have you been interviewing or got coming up? Anyone really that your viewers should know?
Well, I'll tell you this. I interviewed Steve Binder. Now, he was great. Do you know who Steve Binder is? I'll test your knowledge. If you don't know, just say I don't know.
Something to do with Elvis, I think.
Yes. Well done.
Oh, okay. Didn't he do a special, 1968, a special?
Yeah. Elvis Comeback special. That's the one.
Yeah, I know the name.
Yeah, but what happens is...
Film, Elvis?
Yeah, I saw it twice. But let me explain to you the second time I went. Because I knew I was interviewing Steve Binder. So to Vicky, she hadn't seen the film. It's 2 hours, 40 minutes. I said, I've got to go back to see the character that's playing Steve Binder before the interview. So what I did is, after the movie, I come out and go, da-da-da, da-da-da, with Vicky, right? And then we're going down an elevator. And I said, do you know, Plastic EP can't say, but he's doing an interview with someone very special that's got to do with Elvis. And I turned my back on the elevator and Vicky was talking and then she turned around and I nearly tripped at the end of the elevator, but lucky the elevator, I caught her and I didn't fall down and I kept that. And then after I did the Steve Binder interview, then I showed that little video clip coming out going from the cinema. You know how big Status Quo is as a band, don't you?
Did I know them?
No, but I'm saying, do you know of Status Quo?
Of course I know Status Quo, yeah.
Okay, I interviewed the original drummer.
I also know Status Quo.
Status Quo. All right, I interviewed the original drummer, right? John Coughlin. He's great.
Yeah, Rick Parfitt, when I lived in Spain, lived about 10 minutes from me. He lived in a place called Alorín el Grande, which is in southern Spain. And I used to see him at the market, and I used to see he'd go shopping. He was a local guy around there. No one else knew him, but I did. We used to go hello to each other, but never, yeah. So I met him a few times, Rick.
I interviewed Joey D. Now, Joey D had a fantastic song out in 1962, one of the biggest hits, called Peppermint Twist. You remember that one?
I remember it well, with the Peppermint Twist, yeah.
And the Beatles went to the Peppermint Twist Lounge. And what happens is when he went to the Star Club, he was playing the Star Club in the early 60s. They crossed paths with the Beatles, and he threw a party for him, I think in Sweden or something. He was telling me about that. Joey D, he knew the Beatles before they became famous. And I also want to say this. I did an interview with Chris Montez, Let's Dance. You remember that song? That's a great song. Yeah,
it's a great song.
He's fascinating too.
It's evening time for you. I'm in morning time here, which is great. It's what's good about you is you're such an international interviewer that there are times that are not convenient for you, convenient for the person you're interviewing, but you don't seem to care.
No,
I've done an interview with you in the morning that it's been like 4 o'clock in the morning for you. Apologize to Vicky about that, but but you're always accessible and you're always funny, and you've got some good ways about you. And that's why 800 people have let you interview them, because if you're not good or people don't like you, you don't get the interviews. So you can only just say, wow, you just got to be nice to another 200 people. That's all.
Now, that's funny what you say, right? Because, I don't know if you've seen that movie Tron, where the guy lives in a computer. Have you seen that movie at all?
No.
Okay, that's a good movie for you to see, right? And someone came up with the rumor that I'm a cyborg, right? Half machine.
I used to cut people with cyborgs. Elvis had a cyborg, didn't he? I think.
And also, I got to tell you, Simon Wiseman in the 700 show came up with the rumor. He said someone said to him that Plastic EP's glasses are wired up so that all the information are coming on his screen like the $6 million man. And I laughed and I took off my glasses and I said, there's nothing there. It's all brain power. But I love these rumors that come up because it's really good. It adds to the mystery of things.
It is. Do you ever do interviews without your glasses? Do people really know what's behind the glass?
I took my glasses off. If you saw Ivor, and he started screaming with Simon and said, put them back on. Did you see that interview? That was funny.
No, but I could go along with it. I can go along with that one. I should mention it to him when I see him. He's coming over for 10 days in London. As I said to you, we're going to have lunch together. We're going to do a talk show together live with an audience, being interviewed. He's going to talk about his time with Elvis and possibly the Mansons. But we may even mention your name. The actual. We've got a lovely sort of nephew in Australia. He's up all night. We need to go and speak to him. And so, yeah, we'll let you know about that one. When you speak to him, you tell him. St. Albans.
Okay,
he'll know what you mean.
Now, I want to say this. When I come to London with my beautiful wife, Vicky, we're going to take you out, whether that's lunch or dinner. And I also want to say, if I go to Los Angeles, of course, I'm going to meet up with my Uncle Ivor. But, I mean, when you look at now where we are, Leslie, in 2022, COVID, I don't want to talk about COVID. I don't want to talk about things that are going on in the world. But what I'm trying to say is everyone's trying to have a quality life. To me, just talking to you now, having a rosé, relaxing, you're in your beautiful English garden there. I mean, does this not make your day? And when you go and see your sports playing and you're living your life, I mean, how great is that? Honestly, I just take everything for granted every day I wake up. I don't need 5 cars. I don't need 5 suits. I don't need, thousands of dollars in my pocket. I just want to be like a regular Joe. And actually, I like it because one thing a lot of people don't know about Plastic EP's private life, he's not Plastic EP. I'm just like, it's like a character, Elvira, in America. When I take his glasses off, I'm totally different. I'm still a bit of Plastic EP, but I'm not Plastic EP. And after I do these big interviews, you know what I like to do? A lot of people don't know. Just like to get in my car, go to a cafe, sit there by myself and just reflect, watch the video on my phone that I just did, have a coffee, read the paper. It gives me the biggest enjoyment in life. Just that.
But I tell you, you know, won't say hiding behind these closed glasses and then take them off and you become the person that you are, is a lot of people, you know, are in disguise. I'll give you a quick one just before I go. I went and had I'm very good friends with Tommy Thayer from Kiss.
Yeah.
If you're into Kiss, his name's the Spaceman.
Yep.
Now, the Spaceman, the Kiss did a tour, they're on a world tour. If you look at the way he dresses, and Gene Simmons and all the band, I met them all. We all sat and had lunch in London about 4 weeks ago. They can be themselves.
Yes.
Nobody really knows them unless you're a Kiss fan. Tommy Thayer's sitting there. You know, he's not sitting there with his Spaceman and his fireworks coming out of his guitar. He's just a normal guy, and a normal guy. We had long chats. He does a lot of work for charity. He's got his own vineyard, and yeah, you know, and it's nice. You know, he can walk around and be, unless someone knows him who he is, quite freely. Whereas you've got someone like McCartney, everyone knows McCartney. You know, if you've got someone like Elvis, all these people that are faces that people, you know, they say, Bowie, you can't go out. You know, it must be very difficult. But, you know, some people hide behind whatever, and you've hidden behind your plastic EP glasses. So good luck to you. It's
a character I developed from 1978. And let me tell you, success didn't come easy. I never gave up. It's only the last 2 years that I just took off. I took off and my stars just gone higher and higher. Leslie, I just want to thank you for being on the 800 show presentation special.
Thank you so much indeed for allowing me to congratulate you. Well, once again, before we go, I wish you good luck for the next 200 and love to Vicky and yourself. Cheers on that. And
thank you.
Hopefully one day when you bring her on your belated honeymoon to London, we'll meet up.
That's what we plan. But let me tell you, in the meantime, go and buy Leslie's book, The Cutting Edge. It's one of the greatest books with the greatest Beatles stories in there. It'll blow your mind. And also he's got a Spanish version. Go out and buy it and keep listening to Leslie's great interviews. He gets interviewed all over the world. He's always talking about new Beatles stuff. He's the man that was the famous hairdresser to the Beatles from 1966. And I'm just happy to be his friend and glad that we crushed the rumor that Paul was dead together. That was a big deal.
It was indeed. Listen, cheers, mate, as we say. And
thank you, Leslie.
You take care.
We're the latest creative pop sensation. Our music's taking over the nation. We're the latest creative pop sensation. We're a teenage pop sensation. Our music's climbing up the charts. We think our clothes are really smart. We're the latest teenage pop sensation. Our music's taking over the nation. We're the latest teenage pop sensation, yeah. We're